A desert planet with twin suns.
Why do I sense we've picked up another pathetic life form?
Use my knowledge. Much to learn. You still have.
Welcome back to Twin Sun Talks Regs. I'm your host, Jonah Liu, and I hope that all of y'all are doing well. What I want to do for y'all today is essentially give y'all a breakdown of The Bad Batch and what to expect from the upcoming series. So hopefully this is going to be just a bit of a shorter episode. I'm planning on doing a short review every Friday for each episode that comes out, barring any unforeseen circumstances. I'm going to have a spoiler and non-spoiler portion of it. The non-spoiler comes first, and then I'm going to give ample spoiler warnings for you to stop listening if you haven't already watched that episode. So for next week's the first episode comes out on May the 4th, which is going to be on a Tuesday, I believe, and then the second episode comes out that same Friday the 7th, and the first episode comes out in the middle of my final, so I will be watching it, but I won't be making a review on that day. I'm going to do a joint episode for episodes 1 and 2 Friday, May 7th. So yeah, hope y'all understand, but I'm not going to be able to manage making, and especially since the very first episode is 70 minutes long, so it's not going to be feasible for me in the middle of finals. If y'all haven't already, go up and sign up for an account on my website. That's www, or actually I don't think it's www, just forget I said that. The website is twinsuntalks.wixsite.com/twin-sun. And if you sign up for an account, I will be able to send y'all email blasts whenever I release new episodes, and they will come out on YouTube and the website simultaneously every Wednesday. So, with that being said, I would say, first of all, watch the Clone Wars before you watch The Bad Batch. I haven't watched The Bad Batch, but I can already tell you that your enjoyment of it will be only enhanced by watching the Clone Wars series first. And I'm assuming, just based on the trailers, that there will be spoilers for the Clone Wars and Rebels and possibly The Mandalorian in some way or another in pretty much every episode, and by that logic, every review that I have of this show. So if it's important to you to not have any spoilers for any of those shows, what I would suggest is to stop listening right here, go back and listen to episodes 1, 2, and 3 of this podcast, and that will give you my method of watching all the major Star Wars content, as well as my roadmap through the Clone Wars, to make that process as easy for you as possible, and it's just going to hit the most important or most entertaining episodes there. So, yeah, with that being said, without further ado, let's get into some ARC Trooper training.
Gentlemen, who wants to be an ARC Trooper? I do, sir!
Okay, so the Bad Batch was named Experimental Clone Force 99. They were named after 99, who was a reject clone who worked maintenance on Kamino and was hailed as a hero during the attack on Kamino when he sacrificed his life trying to assist the other clone troopers. That was Fives and Echo and some clone cadets. So, the Bad Batch had no designated Jedi general, and they kind of operated like a SEAL team, so they were very similar to the Republic Commandos or even some of the battalions of ARC troopers that were in the Grand Army of the Republic. So the members of the team all had favorable mutations that made them unique and kind of gave them an edge in battle. So there were 5 members of the team as of the end of the Clone Wars series. So the first one is Hunter. He is the leader of the team. He has enhanced senses and is also able to feel electromagnetic signals, which make his tracking abilities nearly perfect. He can kind of map out the surface of a planet using those abilities. Then we have Wrecker, who has enhanced strength and durability. He doesn't get scratched super easily, and he's also the assault specialist on the team. Tech is super intelligent and is also as the name would imply, tech specialist on the team. Crosshair is the sharpshooter, and he's a man of few words. He's actually my favorite member of the team. I just think he's really, really awesome. And then lastly, the newest member of the team, we have Echo, who has cybernetic enhancements and is the lone survivor of Domino Squad. If y'all have watched the Clone Wars, you may remember that he was presumed dead during the Citadel rescue of Master Evan Peel, and he was captured and essentially exploited by the Separatist Confederacy of Independent Systems in order to obtain Republic battle strategies. And when we were introduced to the Bad Batch was the arc where Rex and Anakin accompany them to rescue Echo from the Separatists. So, the show will follow the team in the latter days of the Clone Wars and early days of the Empire, it would seem. And it seems like the team will be on the run from the Empire for one reason or another. It's kind of unclear. Most of the shots in the second trailer of the team lack Crosshair, so it's unclear whether he sacrifices himself and dies at some point, or whether he joins the Empire and defects from the Bad Batch. So, here are some characters and locations and different things that you can expect based on the trailers that we've seen so far. So, Omega was just introduced in the second trailer, and it seems she was seen on Camino. I'm assuming she's a she, and it seems like a new sort of clone child, possibly a female version of the Fett clone, and all of the clones in the Grand Army of the Republic are Fett clones, so that would be super interesting. I'm very interested to see what they do with her character. In the second trailer, we also see Rex leading the team on a planet. I think it might be Braca, which is kind of a junkyard planet that's seen in Jedi Fallen Order. And so it'll be super interesting to see. It's like dismantled Venator Star Destroyers like the Republic used during the Clone Wars. I think that Rex might be on the lookout for possible other clone defectors who didn't fully execute Order 66, maybe ones that removed their inhibitor chips. And it probably ties into Rebels. So I'm super excited to see what part he plays in all of it. We see some shots with Tarkin, who puts out the order to hunt down the Bad Batch. We see them training on Camino. We see some Zygerians, who were the slavers in the Clone Wars. We see some shots with Saw Gerrera, which means Onderon is a likely location, which was his kind of war-torn home world. And I think that will be kind of indicating some seeds of rebellion and possibly tie into either Rebels or Rogue One or both, because we also see Saw Gerrera in those in that movie and that series. So we also see Fennec Shand, who's the sharpshooter from Mandalorian. We see some Shadow Troopers, which I think that Crosshair might be joining that kind of elite force of more regular clone or stormtroopers. Like I said, the first episode is 70 minutes, which is basically a movie, kind of like what they did for the Clone Wars, where they had the Clone Wars animated film that came out in theaters. But this is all streaming on Disney+. And then we have at least 14 episodes that are coming out for this series, as confirmed by Kevin Kiner, who is the musical composer, and he said this in a recent interview. And I don't know if they're counting the first 70-minute episode as multiple episodes or not, but that's still a lot of content. I'm super, super excited. So some things that I'm hoping to see would be, one, some extra Order 66 footage, because I feel like that's a very significant event that we haven't seen too much of outside of Revenge of the Sith, and then obviously we saw it from a very specific point of view in the final arc of the Clone Wars. But I just want to see a little more detail about what happened there and the aftermath of that. I want to see some Vader at some point. I don't know if he'll actually be doing anything, but I have a feeling, since just based on the time period, that we'll see him maybe just like standing in a room, or maybe that'll be a cliffhanger for the next season. I'm hoping that we see maybe Mace Windu or Quinlan Boss as survivors of Order 66. We don't know if Windu survived or not his fall after his fight with the Emperor and Anakin. Y'all know that Mace Windu's my favorite character, so I would absolutely love to see him. So we'll see. Quinlan Boss is a super cool character who has allegedly survived Order 66. And I just want to see more of him, because there was supposed to be a big arc following him and Ventress. It's in the latter seasons of the Clone Wars before Disney acquired it, and that got canceled. So I'm really hoping but it did get released as a book. It's called Dark Disciple. I would heavily recommend it. I'm gonna do a whole episode about my favorite Star Wars books, and I will talk more about that then. I'm thinking that we might see Grogu. That could be pretty cool. Grogu, for those of you who don't remember, is Baby Yoda from the Mandalorian series, and so we might see how he survived the siege on the Jedi Temple. We might see Obi-Wan or Ahsoka, and kind of how they're doing when they go into hiding. Since we see Rex, I think that's pretty likely that we might see Ahsoka at some point. And I think that it would be cool to see the transition from clones to stormtroopers, kind of seeing clones starting to get phased out, and maybe the early construction of the Death Star. Maybe the Bad Batch stumbles upon that somehow. And once again, this is releasing on May the 4th, 2021. That's a Tuesday. Mark your calendars, and I really just can't wait to experience this with y'all. If y'all have any lingering questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram, or to email me. My email and all the contact information is available on the website. So let me just leave you with just a tad bit more. So keeping on theme for today's episode, the Bad Batch refers to regular clones, quote unquote, as regs. And this is where I got the name for y'all, the listeners of this podcast. And basically, what I mean by that is y'all are just, quote unquote, normal soldiers for now, but I'm going to train you up to be some of the best as far as Star Wars knowledge goes. So that's all I have for today. Once again, if you want to follow us on Instagram, we are at Twin Sun Talks. On YouTube, we are Twin Sun Talks Podcast, and one-stop shop for everything about this podcast would be the website, which is twinsuntalks.wixsite.com/twin-sun. Thank y'all so much for listening. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this and enjoy the Bad Batch series. And until next time, you've taken your first steps into a larger world. May the Force be with you, and I will see you in the next episode.